Hey, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, October 4th, 2018. Looking at fire potential impacts over the next few days, we are looking at widespread wetting rain across the entire area today, with some high elevation snow across central Idaho and into western Wyoming. As we move into Friday, we'll see a brief break with clearing across the area and a drying trend for all but eastern Utah. And then on Saturday, we'll have another colder storm move in that will linger through the weekend and bring more rain and high elevation snow to much of the area. Over the past 24 hours, there was quite a bit of rain across the Great Basin. You can see some areas received over an inch of rain, and a fair amount of lightning across portions of eastern Utah and the Arizona Strip. Fire activity has decreased rather significantly across the area with the wetter weather that we've seen. Looking at observed precipitation over the past 7 days, the image on the left shows the observed precipitation, and the image on the right shows how that compares to normal. There's been quite a shift in the weather. Much of the Great Basin has seen precipitation over the past 7 days. The exception to that is portions of northwestern Nevada and southwestern Idaho, but many areas of the Great Basin are beginning to approach normal precipitation over the past 7 days. ERCs have responded quite quickly to this cooler, wetter weather. You can see the majority of the Great Basin is below that 50 to 70th percentile range, though there are still some stations in portions of Idaho that have not dropped into that territory yet. So it's interesting to compare ERCs where we were a week ago to where we are today. You can see the image on the left were ERCs a week ago on September 27th, and many areas were in that red to purple range across much of the area. But in a week, we've really dropped significantly with the wet weather and many yellows and greens now on the map. Looking at the ERC charts, you can kind of see a similar trend. GB3, where there hasn't been too much precipitation yet, still has responded to the higher relative humidities and the cooler weather, and you can see how that line is trending downwards, still above normal in the area, but on the downward trend. Further to the south in GB32, there was a rapid drop from above normal ERCs to well below normal ERCs, so a very fast response to the wet weather that we've seen. The satellite image shows a disturbance in place across much of the western United States. You can see some very cold clouds, those are the red colors on the satellite, in place over portions of Utah, and we are expecting more precipitation today with that weather disturbance. Looking at today in a little more detail, you can see the image on the left. There's quite a bit of moisture still in place across the northern part of the Great Basin, and we are expecting another day of showers across the area. All areas are green on our significant fire potential map. We will see some gusty winds across portions of the Great Basin this afternoon. You can see the areas in Utah and Idaho and parts of Nevada that will see winds in that 30 to 35 mile an hour range this afternoon. Now we are expecting showers across much of the area. You can see heavy rain is expected further north in the Great Basin where the moisture is deeper, and there is a potential for some snow across the higher elevations of Idaho and possibly the Uinta Mountains in Utah. As we move into Friday, we will see a bit of drying across the Great Basin. Showers and thunderstorms won't be quite as widespread on Friday. You can see pretty quiet weather expected across much of the area, though we could see some light showers across portions of Utah and some snow across the higher elevations. As we move into Saturday, another disturbance will move through the area, bringing another day of showers. You can see, again, quite a bit of moisture in place across the area. Looking at Saturday in more detail from the image on the right, that's the weather forecast for Saturday. You can see that pretty much the entire Great Basin will see showers and thunderstorms at some point during the day. This system on Saturday is colder than the ones that we've seen so far, and so we could see high elevation snow as far south as southern Utah. Over the next 3 days, a significant amount of additional precipitation is expected. You can see some areas are expected to see in excess of 2 inches, with large portions of the Great Basin expected to see over an inch of rain. Again, southwestern Idaho does look like it will see the least amount of precipitation, and that's kind of been the trend so far with this system. As we move into Sunday, that weather disturbance will move out of the area. And as we move into Monday, we'll see some drying across the western part of the Great Basin. Moisture will linger further north and east. And then on Tuesday, another system drops down, bringing the potential for more unsettled, cool weather across the area. And finally, on Wednesday, we will continue to see cooler than normal weather with those low-pressure systems moving through. In the 7-day period, the entire Great Basin is expected to see precipitation. Some pretty impressive amounts forecast here. You can see over 3 inches of precipitation in some areas, higher elevation areas in Utah. Large areas expected to see over 2 inches of precipitation, with at least a 1/4 inch of precipitation expected across all areas in the Great Basin. Finally, in the 8 to 14-day period, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for cooler and wetter weather than normal. So this cool and settled pattern is expected to continue. And that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.